difficulty mods are all the rage on the L4D2 workshop, and one such mod pack leans into it literally. It's called Rage, and it's all about getting from point A to point B as quickly and brutally as possible. It is a no mercy sort of mod pack in every sense of the word. You are going to struggle and fight your way desperately from start to finish. Everything is tilted against you, and it is just a punch to the nuts, one moment after another. It's promising. I definitely see what the author is going for, and I like the gist of it. Once you understand the basic concepts of the mod, it is pretty fun. It's just a lot of other features get in the way. It's like half of the features come together to make Rage a really unique and exciting mod pack that's tense, almost stressful in a way, but in an exciting way, and one that completely revamps the existing campaigns without changing their structure. It's just that the other half of the changes conflict with that, and it creates this very mixed bag experience where it feels like Rage is at war with itself, where it isn't sure if it wants to be a slow-paced, methodical survival one or a fast-paced speedrunning one. So I'm gonna dive into Rage. I'm gonna explore what makes it tick, what works about it, what doesn't, and how I think it can be fixed, because I think this is a lot like The Last Goodbye. I think that I can see the vision the author's going for, and I think there are some pretty straightforward solutions to helping it realize its identity. Rage is a mod pack by Sassy. It is self-contained with about 22 or 23 add-ons, and it makes everything not so much dark and gritty, but red and anger-filled. You step out into the world of L4D2 and a red fog is covering everything. Your movement's quicker, your animations are quicker, the infected are much more ruthless, they aren't as prevalent, but they're honestly deadlier, and you just need to get the hell out of there. The longer you stay out there in the fog, the worse things are gonna get, and you are on your own in this fight. There are no bots coming to save you. You can play with friends, but you need friends to do that. It is still playable solo, it's just tough. The mod itself is a big step up difficulty-wise. I'd say the main way to play it is to run. You can take the slow, methodical approach if you want to die. You need to run. Just get out of there. There's a button to increase your speed. There are options for dashing. You can mash the spacebar to free yourself from special infected that pin you. You just need to get to the next safe room no matter what. Taking time to explore honestly punishes you more than it helps. And the fact that there are certain nerfs thrown against you don't help. There aren't weapon outlines, there are icons, but they're kind of small. Things aren't as easy to pick out with the red fog hovering over everything. Melee weapons aren't insta-kills, and common infected are more durable, so they can survive stuff that normally they wouldn't be able to, like hunting rifle rounds, melee hits to the head. They are durable and mean, and if they manage to hang on you too long, they'll start biting you to quickly take down your health. Even on the equivalent of normal, they're just vicious, and you need to put as much distance between yourself and them as possible. It's like when you're running away from them, you can almost feel them on your heels. Their sounds are a lot more aggressive and angry, like they have a personal grudge to pick with you, and it adds on to this feeling of terror, of needing to get out of there as soon as possible, because these guys are not going to stop until you're dead. On that front, it works. I like that feeling of fear and paranoia and nervousness this brings. Some games aren't meant to be fun all the time, some are meant to be terrifying. And Rage honestly does a good job of adding this fear and suspense. It's spooky, because you don't know if you're gonna make it to the next stage of a level because of some trap up ahead or some gangle of infected that are gonna cause problems for you. I mean, their hits don't slow you down, but they get in the way very well. They will make a beeline for you, and you can't just bash them and one-tap them with melee weapons as easily. They take like 2 to 3 hits. This does lead to a problem, though, because gunfire draws them in. This is like Lost for Creed in that regard. Whenever you fire a gun, it'll draw the infected toward you. So the more times you shoot like a M1911 pistol or a hunting rifle, more infected will come running toward you. It can worsen a problem when you're trying to fight off the infected, wherein your gunfire is just going to keep drawing bigger and bigger hordes in. And you could use a melee weapon, but they're nerfed pretty badly, so it isn't always a viable option. There are some silenced weapons, like a silenced sniper rifle, but it's not the best option. 5 shots and a bolt action mechanic means that it's not as quick to take down enemies as you would like. Like I mentioned, the guns have nerfs. Weapons are pretty nerfed across the board, and this includes some nerfs from Nightmare. So it runs on a mag-based system for everything but the shotguns. If you reload early, you lose whatever ammo is left in the magazine. This also goes weirdly for like the bolt action weapons, even though they're reloaded 1 bullet at a time. I guess because they're building off the same mechanics as the bolt action snipers, the CSS snipers, that is. This also leads into a problem where there's no crosshair, you can't enable it, and you just kind of have to eyeball every shot you do. You can use the scope for scoped weapons like the hunting rifle and the bolt action rifles, but that slows you down, and every moment you're not in the safe room is a moment that you can get pounced on or beaten down by the infected. So you basically have to no-scope or quick-scope everybody while running away from them. In practice, the bolt action snipers aren't that good. And it is a little insulting in a way that the Lee Enfield has 5 shots instead of 10. That could have used more bullets, especially because of the inaccuracy penalties, but it is what it is. It's not the first game to only have 5 shots in a Lee Enfield rifle. The guns do feel pretty powerful, they sound pretty powerful. They're pretty fun to use overall, and I like how there are 3 slots for weapons. There's a primary slot, a sidearm slot, and a melee slot. Though this comes with the caveat that melee weapons will break after excessive use. Kind of like that cut feature from the beta versions of Left 4 Dead 2. So, it's another penalty against melee weapons. The infected can just eventually wear down your weapons through sheer durability on their part, meaning that you're going to have to retreat to some other weapon or get away from them in another way. This also leads to a problem where the view model sometimes get in the way, because if your primary runs out of ammo, and it can happen, and you don't have a melee weapon or a sidearm, sometimes you'll have to resort to the healing items. And the health kit in particular takes up a lot of room on the screen. Healing items are another big issue. Instead of just healing you immediately, they're slow to open up and slow to use. Like, the health kit restores your health over time, but it's slow to heal you. It's kind of ineffective even before a round starts. When you heal yourself, it'll take some time for the healing to finally kick in. It's weird, you'd think that a fast-paced sort of mod pack would be all about just quick healing and moving on, but you often have to slow down before starting a chapter and wait for the healing to finally put you back in the 90s or 100s. The pills and adrenaline are better for healing you because they're instant and they take effect quicker. It's just kind of weird that the health kits are nerfed so badly. This mod pack demands speed. It plays quickly, it plays aggressively. but the way it handles healing, it's like it expects you to slow down and take your time. Speaking of slowing things down, doors are randomly locked. The safe room doors are almost always locked. That was a feature that was recently introduced into Desperation Redux, and it was okay there. But here the problem is you need to be fast, and it can be so frustrating when you're trying to break open a door to some objective or weapons or get into the safe room, and you have to hold down the use key while the infected catch up with you and start mauling you. It doesn't help that, again, melee weapons aren't insta-kills, so it's kind of ineffective to batter them away from you after the fact. It does add to the tension to the degree, but it slows down gameplay, and it's kind of unfair. If you have a lead on the infected, you waste it opening the safe room door. The special infected themselves are just generally more aggressive and more damaging. The upside is that you can break away from them by mashing the space bar. The charger, though, he's really fast, he goes insanely quick during his charges, and he takes you down quickly with the way he handles health. The tank is just buffed across the board. You're better off running away from him. I don't even know if it's possible to kill him in a way. The witch is odd. I've never been able to predict what the witch is going to do. There are two variants of her, one that does this flashbang effect, the other that has these smoke clouds. It's easy to provoke her because of the loudness system, and this just means that she'll often wipe you without you understanding why it happens. There are times when I would go back through clips of Rage and I'd wonder what killed me, and my guess was that it was a witch that I had startled somehow just by being in her general aura. There's also a continue system for the campaign, and it's basically like Nightmares. You get a continue if you beat a level, you lose a continue if you lose a level, you run out, you're booted back to the menu. Whenever you die in a level, it just immediately cuts to black, which is a pretty neat feature, but I don't know, I don't like the continues in this. I don't think they're necessary. It's a mod pack that emphasizes speedrunning and quickness. It shouldn't punish you for failure, since speedrunning is all about learning from failures and growing from them. It shouldn't boot you back to the start just because of the circumstances of your death, especially when it's very unpredictable. This isn't like a Nightmare where my deaths felt earned. It felt like I had made mistakes that cost me my life. Here, there were times I would just be baffled as to what killed me. I wouldn't be able to follow the logic of the mod pack. Generally speaking, I've had really mixed thoughts on Rage. It sounds like I wouldn't recommend it, but the thing is, I think it can be fixed. I don't think this is some glaring overall issue where the entire logic of the mod pack is faulty. I get what Sassy was going for with this. At least I think I do. And that's why I have some constructive criticism and some feedback on how I think Rage could be fixed up. My advice would just be lean all the way in on the speedrunning aspects. Nightmare kinda does that, although it also allows you to do methodical approaches to levels. I'd say to make this stand out and stand apart from Nightmare, go all the way in on that. Remove the continue system, remove the unlocking of doors, remove the magazine losses that come from partial reloads. Let it be a little more forgiving on those fronts. It doesn't need the insane difficulty spikes to work. It's already pretty challenging as it is. I don't think it should really punish exploration as much as it does, but if it's going to focus on speedrunning, I get it. I don't think that the melee weapons breaking is as much of an issue if it was easier to notice weapons. So bringing back weapon outlines and item outlines would probably do a lot of good. Another thing would be get a less obstructive view model for the health kits, and make the healing much quicker for health kits. Both the healing process and the regeneration. With those changes, I think Rage could fully come into its own. I think it would really fit into this unique angle of Left 4 Dead 2, but you're angry, you're on the run, you're being chased by these ravenous monsters, and you gotta get out of there as quick as possible. It would really stand out on its own. It wouldn't just feel like a faster, angrier version of Nightmare. So I would say this has good potential. I mean, it's flawed right now, it definitely has issues, but I think it absolutely could be brought into this unique identity it's going for. It definitely doesn't have a crippling problem where it would just need a total rework. I'm not sure if I would recommend Rage, but I like the thought put into it. I think that it has a good identity. I think it has a strong basis to work with. And I think with some updates, it could be turned into this really cool, fast-paced, edgy, and brutal mod pack. So, those are my thoughts on Rage. Have you played it? Have you played other mod packs like it? And are there other ones you'd recommend? I saw one recommended that was about Condemned criminal origins and trying to recreate its combat system in Left 4 Dead 2. That sounds neat because I love the Condemned games and I've always wanted a third one. In any case, thank you all for watching. Take care.